All right. So welcome everyone to this can't believe I'm saying that, seventh 100 Days of No Code demo day. So it's really wonderful, as I was just saying, to have kind of the whole 100 Days sort of family under one roof, the participants from the current 100 Days of No Code Challenge, our bootcamp alumni, and of course, kind of members, long-term kind of members of our community more broadly. So really great to see everyone here. Now, whilst I may be, well, most definitely will be preaching to the choir here, I always like to start these events by quickly crystallizing what we actually mean by no code, to kind of tee up and present kind of the backdrop for the incredible projects and products that we'll be seeing tonight. So in a very quick nutshell, it's a set of tools that makes building websites, apps, and software easier than it ever has been before. And that's because we essentially have the power of code without having to write it. So instead, we can kind of build visually from our imagination, which ushers in, as you can see on the screen here, ushers in this faster, more affordable and flexible way of building software. Now, why is that important? Well, because 99.7% of us who couldn't or weren't able to bring their ideas to life until this point now can. Now, I know I've kind of pushed and beaten that sort of drum many times before, but I think it's such a shocking statistic, it's worth reminding people about this. And this is really where we come in as 100 Days of No Code, come into play by providing the content, the community, and the habit-fueled system to help anyone learn to no code in an accessible way. And by building a world where anyone can bring their own ideas to life, we can start creating more inclusive digital spaces, making careers into tech more accessible, increasing digital literacy, enabling more entrepreneurship, and of course, empowering a new wave of problem solvers from different backgrounds and perspectives that we don't currently have. So tonight is a celebration of this journey that we're on, and a demonstration of how life-changing no code can be. So that is why we have 5 demoers here tonight, all from a non-technical background, and who participated in our most recent No-Code MVP Bootcamp, showcasing the awesome products from mobile apps to chatbots that they have built over the 30-day program. So we're kind of, about to get ready. But before that, I just want to acknowledge that, demoing can be a little bit scary. So for everyone in attendance tonight, thank you so much for being here. But I really just wanted to make sure that we do these 3 things so we can make the most of the demos in front of us. Firstly, grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, and get ready to just enjoy and take in all the amazing projects on show. 2, just so a little bit of Zoom etiquette. I know we've heard it many times before, but if you could stay on mute, that would be amazing, just to respect the demoers as they're demoing. And then last, but certainly not least, it would be great if you could cheerlead, share your love, encourage, push people, and really just celebrate everyone's projects as they're going. Put comments in the chat, put comments on Twitter, whatever you want to do, but use the 100 Days of No Code hashtag so we can all see the love coming in. So yeah, that is it from me. And I think Harold is going to put a little link in the chat. Is that correct? Awesome. And that would be just a pre-populated tweet you can use to start sharing and celebrating and cheerleading, which of course you can customize yourself. So I think that is it from me. So I am going to stop sharing and we're going to get into our first demo. Exciting. Over to you, Leticia.
Good. So can everybody hear me?
Yes, perfectly. You're all good.
Good, perfect. So yeah, really nice to meet you, even though it's online, but I have the gallery view on, so I see a lot of faces. Some I've seen before, and some I've never seen before. So it's really cool to see everyone here. And maybe I give you, to begin with, I give you the why, like why did I actually start the bootcamp of 100 Days of No Code? I will do this very quickly. It was, so I have no technical background. I studied business administration. I always work for tech companies. And I always have like a lot of ideas in my mind. And I always felt like you have to have like a degree in computer science to actually build it. And then I discovered No Code. And so this idea, the MVP I built during the bootcamp, was something I experienced with my friend during the first wave of COVID. And I'm going to start sharing my screen so I can show you what I actually built. Wait, this I want to move. So when we go here on the website, so what did I do and why did I do this? During COVID, I'm somebody who loves to do sports. And before COVID, I would always go to the gym, I would go to a yoga studio, and I would do live workouts like not at home. And then COVID happened. And then we had, like, me and my friends, we started doing workouts online. And it was always like we had this WhatsApp group, and then we would send each other like videos from YouTube that were for free and try to motivate each other, like which kind of videos you should do. But on YouTube, it was actually pretty hard to find new videos because the algorithm is made in a way that only the most famous workout instructors are always like on the main page, and it's hard to find like smaller YouTube instructors, and more instructors were actually putting their content online during COVID as well. So my idea was to build like a web app where on the one hand, you can browse different kinds of videos and have it more in a filtered way compared to YouTube. And at the same time, you can also sign up for a workout in your inbox. This is how it's called, where you will get once, twice, or 3 times per week, like dedicated workout playlists directly in your inbox. And I'm going to give you a quick tour on what I actually did. Just so you know, this is built on Software, where there's just the landing page where I explain a bit how it works, what you can expect. And once you click here on the Get Free Access, you're already on the base where you find all the different workouts. You can filter them by body focus, minutes, workout style, and have the possibility here to find some new workouts. You can see my target group is rather female, I guess, but of course any man is also welcomed. Then you can add a workout. This is something which is actually made for the workout instructors, so they can add workouts here, which are then directly added to an Airtable, where I'm just double checking if it then can be launched on the website. And once they add it, it will be in this database I showed you before. And lastly, when you go to workout in your inbox, this is what I mentioned, where you get customized workout playlist in your inbox. And when you click here, you have a tally form where you can give your name, your email address, and can decide if you want to receive workouts once, twice, or 3 times per week. And depending on what you're answering here, I created on MailerLite like automated email campaigns that are being sent out to specific groups. And then you will get an email like this one, depending on how often you want to work out. It's a different kind of email. And when you can click on start your workout, I'm going to stop this quickly, but then you have a playlist which will start, and it's a 30 minutes training. And so that's, you can see it's an MVP, which I would have never thought actually before No Code that I could build something like this. And then in the end, it was not that complicated. The automation with MailerLite, that was the part that was maybe the hardest. And what's next? I mean, I realized when you're in the this kind of space, like direct to consumer in a way, you have to find your audience. So I created an Instagram account, and yeah, will now try to promote this a bit more. For now, it's my friends using it, so that's a good confirmation already that they're having a good time using it. And the next step is just to get more people on it. So if you want to try it out, sign up and try it out. And also, if you have any kind of questions, how I build it, or I don't know, if you want to do something with Software or MailerLite, let me know. Write me on, either if you're in the Slack group, write me on Slack or write me on Twitter, and I would be happy to help you if I can, or just to exchange. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Curious to hear. So has it kind of helped your friends, I guess, not only start working out, but also like stay working out? Has that kind of improved since they've begun using the product?
So what they told me is actually what they like the most is not necessarily yet the workout in your inbox. So I feel like there the value proposition is not, I haven't nailed it yet, but it's more that they don't go on YouTube anymore to find new workouts. And I think this is what they said, that this filtering, like what I showed you on when you go here, that it's much easier to discover things instead of when you just type Pilates on YouTube, then you get so many different videos, but it's so hard to filter. And this is so, and this part, I have the feeling I nailed the value proposition, but on the other part, I haven't nailed it yet. So I'm sure there will be some iteration or something. I have to figure out why people are not really using it. So I'm transparent here. I'm not saying that this is all glory, but I still believe that there is a way to nail it. So I just have to now, since I'm back from my traveling the last 2 weeks, I have to focus on it a bit more and figure out how I can find a better way. So if you have any ideas or feedback, let me know. I'm always happy to get good feedback, and don't worry if you think you're not gonna hurt me with any kind of feedback.
Amazing. Yeah, and I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. It's such a new idea, and I think the fact you've already kind of validated one part of it is really awesome. And I think that's all part of the fun, validating. So the second half of that, I'm sure it will come at some point. But yeah, amazing job, Laetitia. And just so everyone knows, we're going to be sharing everyone's project links, Twitter handles, all that good stuff. So you can then, after this hour demo day, you can go and look at their stuff, sign up if you like it, and all that good stuff. So yeah, thanks so much, Laetitia. That was amazing. Really hit us off with a bang, and you're getting some great feedback in the chat. So appreciate that. Cool.
Thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Wait. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right. So it looks like we are onto our next demo already. And this is quite an interesting one, because Mark and Michael, who will be demoing, they have refused to tell us what this thing is that they're actually demoing. They've kept it under wraps. It's very secretive, it's exclusive. So this is the first kind of official unveiling, if you will, of the product that Mark and Michael are about to show. So I think I'm going to pass over to you, Michael, to sort of lay the landscape, and then Mark will show the demo.
Sweet. Can you hear me all right?
Yes. Yeah,
awesome. Cool. Just want to start off with that before I go a minute down and nobody can hear me. I'm going to share my screen in a minute, tell a little bit of story about it. But first, I'm honored, to be here and to be part of the demo day. Really love and respect, everybody's, tenacity to create something. So I've built, lots of side projects and things like that, and I think a special type of person to see that through, and that type of persistence. And I admire that in everybody. And so congrats, to everybody who's, created something and has created something and then demoing it. I'm rooting for you. I know the sacrifice it takes because it's not your main job, right? So it's something you don't have to be doing. And I also want to be here. You can approach me on Twitter. We'd love to help. And Mark is super helpful too. So I don't want to volunteer too much of his time because he helps me, but So with that said, just wanted to tell a quick story of what we're doing, and also let y'all know everybody here are really kind of the first public version of, or I guess sharing of what we're up to. Mark or Max, can you give me just thumbs up? You can see my screen, okay?
Yeah, I can see your
Okay.
Twitter, a tweet from KP. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's where I wanted to start the story. It's funny, like I think I get all my best inspiration from Twitter, that and scratching my own itch. And I saw this tweet from KP, who's a friend of mine. And it's just basically about like creating your bio for your social media, right? Like Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever. And I don't know about you, but actually I struggle with that. Like I'm not good at copy. I'm not good at getting something that is really kind of punchy. I tend to be too long worded. So getting something in 160 characters is quite the challenge for me. And so when I looked at this, I just took a lot of inspiration from it because it helped me, whenever you look at something for inspiration, to try to narrow in on like the best way to write a bio, because I want to be helpful. I want people to, see what may be helpful to them, not waste their time. And KP just tweeted out all these different types of bios. It's almost kind of like a mini swipe bio. And here's one on Dickie Bush for credibility, Arvid Kahl, as well as some other makers. And so what I thought was, wouldn't it be interesting if we created something that allowed you to do this for free, and also just allowed you to do it very easily. And so Mark and I got together and decided to create AI Social Bio. And what it does is you just type in a few keywords. And so we'll try one out here, like Excel. You click on the inspiration that you'd want to model it after, and you select that, and then you generate your bio. And we're using GPT-3 OpenAI to generate a bio. And so it'll take here just a second to compute. And so what we're doing is we're using Bubble, just built complete with no code. And we're connecting to the API using Bubble's API connector. And so you can see with just that one word, it takes this inspiration and then it writes out like the perfect bio. And so what you can do is you can, change, any type of keywords, one or two keywords. You can change, the bio that you are inspired by, because there's different types of bios, like there's teachers, or maybe there's credibility. And what it'll do is it'll then write out for you what that bio is. And so what's cool about it is, like KP is the build in public guy. So I typed in the keyword no code, and it says I'm the no code guy, and it gives a description. And it's really a lot of fun to play with and use. So we're going to be launching this in just a few days. Would love anybody's support when we do that. Would love for you to try out. So the link is not public yet. We'll be making that public yet, so you can try it out. But would love to get everybody's feedback in doing this. And then in true side product fashion, I'm the founder of Side Product Like Growth, where we build side products for startups. And so this is going to be my first side product for my business, which I do full time. And so any love and support, and as an indie maker, is greatly appreciated. I will absolutely reach out and support you any way that I can. There's also a really neat Twitter integration here that Mark built, where you click this tweet button, and what it does is, and this is the genius behind it, is I want to let Mark take over some of the demo to show some backend things that he created. But what it does is it takes in your inspiration that you used, and then it creates and auto generates a share, kind of a click to tweet share button. So then if my laptop will load it here, you'll get a tweet that's custom loaded with the text, and then a shout out to whoever you're using that inspiration from. So I think you kind of get the picture with that. Wouldn't want to be time sensitive and turn it over to Mark, because he's got something to show as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to be working with Michael on this project, and I'm really invested in the 100 Days of No-Code community and all the boot camps that go on, and I just think it's fabulous what Max and Harold and Kat and Pablo have been doing, and just thankful to be part of it and be able to help people along, and just as I've been helped. So this is a real honor to be able to demonstrate something that we've built. We're both Michael and I are members of the community long term, and yeah, it's just a real privilege. I'm going to share my screen again. You can see it's the same. It's the same as what Michael's had, but it's built on Bubble. The long and short of it is that we do take in a keyword here and then combine it to form a prompt for the AI with your choice of influencer, and then that generates the AI bio at the bottom there. We've got a custom built bad words filter plugin that will take any hateful or prohibitive words that are put into the keyword box, and it will return asterisks. So if you put something bad in there, we will never be able to send anything that will be a policy violation to the AI service.
No naughty words.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Yeah, no naughty words. And that's so that's our own creation, and it's part of the requirements to have any sort of AI service involved, because it's quite a powerful service, and you know, we're just sort of poking around at the edges of it. So we've handled that. These influencers here, they are the information is directly obtained via the Twitter API. We are dynamically updating this on the hour, every hour, to make sure that we are using the current profile. So if somebody changes their profile, the automation happens to make sure that whoever uses this will be using the current profile. I'll show you that in the back end shortly. And the generation key combines like I said, the keyword and the inspiration, and it sends your unique prompt off to the AI, which then gets returned back to us, and then we return it back to them for some further moderation, because you can actually ask the AI to do something and it will produce blindly some potentially offensive stuff. So we handle that as well. That gets sent back to a moderation endpoint and then comes back for population here. So when you do create, push the create button, quite a lot of stuff is happening, and you know, it's amazing how fast it really does handle all that stuff. We want to so if I put something in here, we'll use Vinci. She's a great member of the community, and now all that stuff is happening in the real time. We get this back here. This value here is an indication of the character count compared to the typical 160, which is relevant to Twitter. So you can then come into this box here and edit this as you see fit. If you so wish, you can then push this to copy it to your clipboard and then paste it directly into your profile if you want. As Michael was demonstrating, if you click this here, you would present it with a pre-populated tweet, which shouts out to the actual person. And this hashtag is dynamically generated from our name of the app. So if you change the app, that handles that all well. In the back end, this is only available to people who use it. You will be exclusively seeing this. No one else will see this. We get some dynamic metrics that are live updated for every time someone uses the service. And we've also got in a administration panel here, so we can admit or refuse other people. At the minute, it's only exclusively available to Michael and myself, but you could certainly handle that. This is the tools where we can add and remove influencers. So we've got our own process in the back to add an influencer. This will go away and check to see if the Twitter name is actually available, and they'll tell you if it's not found, and then you can choose the category that you want to apply to each person, and then choose whether you want to display them or not, and we can delete them. So this is some cool stuff that you know, normally you're experiencing the front end side of an app that is public facing, and we've decided to consider the back side as well for people who are actually running this as a service, and they want to keep it updated and handle it easily. We have some other top secret stuff that goes on in the back here, which we are choosing to keep to ourselves. It involves configuration of the AI. We've built our own custom tooling to handle that, so you don't actually have to go into Bubble to tweak any of the settings that influence what the AI produces. This is a real pleasure of a project to work on. And I really appreciate Michael having the idea and the foresight and the faith in me to work with him to build it. It's been a superb experience. We're really excited about launching it next week. And we would love you all to try it. Yeah, I really appreciate your time letting us demonstrate it. Also, don't forget, if you haven't already signed up for the bootcamp, I think it's starting in November. If you get stuck into that, this is the sort of stuff you can build. We are working with Bubble here, so it's slightly more advanced than the elementary stuff, but there's no reason why you couldn't transform your ideas into something, in reality like this. So I'll be happy to take any questions if there are any, but stick them in the chat if not. But yeah, this has been an absolute pleasure, and we hope it becomes useful and people get a lot of value out of it and end up having some growth on their audience on Twitter just while using this service. So thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Mark. And Michael, massive congrats. Everyone, I think, is a little bit lost for words, as am I, as to kind of the complexity, the thoughtfulness, everything that has gone into that build, from the front end and the back end. So incredible job. I love, Michael, on your side, how this is kind of very meta for you and part of your side project-led marketing for your own side project-led growth company. And then for you, Mark, it's kind of getting your teeth into more Bubble stuff as you become even more of a genius in that tool. So hats off to you, and pleasure kind of watching it tonight. Let us know how we can help the launch. We'll be here to support as a community. So just let us know, and we'll be there on Tuesday or whenever it is you're launching to put some firepower behind it. But yeah, appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. We're honored for that, and really appreciate y'all your mental spaces to take it all in.
Of course, yeah. And I think, to be honest, I think there's quite a few questions in the chat, Mark and Michael, so just take your time to go through them, and enjoy. Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really great, and it's great to see everybody building great stuff and just having a good time doing it. This is such a privilege to be seeing this happening. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Awesome. Cheers, Mark. Cool. All right. The demos are coming thick and fast. I'm looking at you, Charlene. So I'm going to be demoing the product, and you're going to be walking or talking about it as I'm sharing my screen. Is that correct, Charlene?
Yes, thank you, Max, for sharing your screen. I really appreciate that, as I am having some technical difficulties today. Hi, everybody. I'm Charlene, and I created a chatbot called Decide to Dine, which provides restaurant recommendations in 32 countries around the world. It's really quick and easy to use. All you do is answer 3 simple questions about your location, your desired cuisine, and your preferred price point, and then you'll immediately receive recommendations to restaurants that meet your exact criteria. So I was inspired to make this after my time working in the restaurant industry, specifically in digital marketing, where I would have to create listings on directory websites like Yelp and OpenTable. And I was always, adding new menu items, promotions, and special events to get people to come to these restaurants. But I found that, for all my marketing efforts, as a restaurant goer myself, it was often tedious and time consuming to actually search through these directories to find restaurants. And, if you can't even get somebody to go through and look for these restaurants, how are you going to get them on your listing? So that was my dilemma on the marketing side. And on the consumer side, I realized that oftentimes the best recommendations I've ever gotten have come through word of mouth from friends and family, where, I'm sure we've all had a situation where we've been talking to someone we know who's mentioned this amazing restaurant they've gone to where the food and service was fantastic. Or, maybe you've just been looking for a new place to eat because you're tired of ordering from the same place over and over again, but you want a quick recommendation without having to do any research or guesswork. So that's where the idea for Decide to Dine came from. It takes all of the data from the restaurant directory, which in particular is Yelp that I used, and it presents it in a very casual conversational way that makes it easy for people to use and want to use. So I'll tell you briefly what the stack was that I used. First, like I said, I got my data from Yelp, and I present that in a chatbot that I made with LandBot. And what my chatbot does is every time someone answers one of my questions about the type of food or location they're in, it sends a GET request to Yelp, and then Yelp responds with any data that meets that exact criteria. And as you can see on the screen now, the site that I used was made in Card. So is there anybody who wants to volunteer and go through this chatbot? Just giving, you know, location, cuisine, and price point so that we can see what Decide to Dine comes up with. You can unmute or you can put in the chat.
Suda, I think you're ready to go. Feel free to come off mute. Oh, okay. Got you. All right, so tell me where to go. Cool. So we're in Austin. So we want some Japanese.
And I think $10 is that first one, probably.
First one, yeah.
The
cool.
cheapest price point, yeah.
Nice. Amazing. Hold down.
And now you can see all the restaurants that came up in the results based on Suda's criteria. And if you click on any one of those, you can click on all of them, as many as you want. It'll take you directly to that restaurant's listing on Yelp where you can get more information, including the menu, photos, and even make a restaurant reservation if you'd like.
Wow.
So that is basically it for my presentation. I just want to also show the FAQ if anybody has any questions on how to use the chatbot. There's an FAQ page with more information because, as I said, it's only available in 32 countries, and those are the countries that have listings on Yelp. So I'm limited to what Yelp provides, but there's still thousands of restaurants to choose from. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I just want to say thank you to Max and the entire team at 100 Days of No Code because this bootcamp experience has been fantastic. I had no idea 30 days prior to making this that I would even be capable of doing it. And I could not have done it without their guidance and their teaching. You know, there was a lot of, you know, interaction. It wasn't just me doing this all by myself. I was always able to reach out and ask for help from any one of the team members. And they were happy to, you know, provide that for me and even, you know, have one-on-ones with me to help me get this to where it is today. So I highly encourage you, if you're thinking about joining the bootcamp, you won't regret it for sure, because, you know, as daunting as it was for me starting out, you know, they made the process way easier, and, you know, their teachings definitely help you. You know, you won't be lacking the knowledge to get to this point, let alone the support.
No, thanks so much, Charlene. That's incredibly kind of you to say. And that was wonderful. You're getting a lot of love in the chat. And I think a lot of people are very eager to use this for their next restaurant visit. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. And to answer Justin, Yelp does have open API.
Awesome. Yeah, I think feel free to as well kind of work your way through those questions as well, because I think there's a few questions that have come up. So when we go on to the next demo, yeah, feel free to take a look. But I think the one thing that stands out about this is how, and I said it to you on the last time I saw this, how incredibly simple and clean the experience is for the user. And I get my instant recommendation within 2 minutes of using the app. So it's just incredible. So amazing job, Charlene, and very excited to see where this goes.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. So I think we're on time-ish, but we'll probably need to keep it reasonably lean. But yeah, on to the next, we have Ben, who will be sharing his very cool mobile app. So over to you, Ben.
Here's Max. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I'm Ben. I reside in the northeast of England. I was on the last boot camp and thoroughly enjoyed myself. Everyone was great. So I'll just share my screen. Is everyone able to see that?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so The inspiration for my idea kind of came from I like craft beer, but I'm sure many other people have had the same issue where they went into a pub and kind of had to settle for what was on tap, what was on draft. At the moment, I feel it's left to happen chance. You either gamble and go somewhere new, but they might not have anything you want, or you go to reliable places, the same bars over and over again, hoping just drinking the same beers. My app essentially is a community-powered app. There's a way of finding the beers that you want to drink. So unlike Untapped and Real Ale Finder, which kind of rely on pubs and breweries upkeeping their stock, inventory of stock up to date, mine kind of crowdsources beer like sightings by other users in return for points and hopefully prizes. That's the idea of the app. So at the moment, I'm still kind of in beta testing. Would love you to sign up, but I've got the basically the beta version of my app in a download here, so I'll run through this now. So like I say, it was built in a download, which I'm just loading up now. And the interface, once you sign in, essentially looks something like this. So you have the current beer list. So these are the beers which have already been inputted either by myself or by other users. And you have a search box. So you might say, I'm looking for something Irish, and then it'll pull through and find your recommendations that's already in the database. So we've got obviously Guinness there. I might type in, I want something hazy, then it's going to pull in a result of what I want there. So it's got that kind of smart searching, whether it's in the title or whether it's in the description of what the beer profile is. In this instance, I'm going to type in, I want an IPA. And then we're looking at those. There's some different IPAs we've got. In this instance, I'm going to click on Brewdog Punk IPA. Then what we've got here is we've got a number of different sightings for Punk IPA. So you can filter by distance. So at the moment, it's showing me the nearest. So you can see 0.5 miles away down to a mile away. These are the ones in and around my area. I can change my search parameters. So let's say I'm only going to want to travel less than 0.6 miles. I can kind of filter that through, or I can increase that. I can also bring the slider up like that. I can filter by rating. So maybe I want to see the best rated pint first, or the ones which have ratings, or I might want to filter by price and find the cheapest pint first. So we can kind of do that there. We can also tap into the actual beer up the top, and it'll show you an aggregation. So the average rating and the average price. So I can kind of tell, am I getting good value for money here? This is like a carousel of all the beers, which would be of Punk IPA, which are added into the database. We can also go on profile. So we can see on here, these are beers which I've added. So these are available sightings to me, which I've added. We can click on, let's say, this Punk IPA here. Now, the idea of the app is it's in for one, out for one. So like when going to the pub, you wouldn't just have people buy rounds for you all the time and you not put into the pot. So the idea is you find a beer, but then you have to put in a beer. So it's in for one, out for one in perpetuity, to make sure that, you know, people aren't just abusing the app and also, like, you know, contributing. So in this instance, I can tap to view the location because it's a beer that I've put in. So I can see this up on here. It's telling me exactly where that is. I've already got that. I can hit get directions. It's going to straight away show me the directions in how to walk there, because obviously you don't want to promote drink driving. So how do you walk there? How do you get to your pub? There you go. We can go back into the app. Let's say I went to the pub, but the beer wasn't there. So maybe they ran out of tap, or, you know, they've changed kegs or whatever. So is the beer still here? I might hit no. Then it would say, are you still sure you want to delete this site and to save other users of the trip? Now I'm going to hit yes. So now if we look, you can see it's now deleted from the search results, or from my available beers. If you go in search results and click on Punk IPA, we can see it's now dropped off. So we're not sending people when the beer is not there effectively. So that's kind of one of the functionalities that you can do. We also have a feed. So this is, maybe you don't know what you want to search for, because, you know, like you might see something like, you know, Punk IPA seen neck oil seen 18 days ago, might not be there. You might just want to say, right, okay, what's just been added near to me? So you go on feed and you can see most recent. So we can see 3 days ago, 1 mile away, that was, you know, a beer there was added. Maybe you want to see the nearest to me. So we click on that. Okay, I can see a load of beers 0.3 mile away that were added right next to me just there. So you can kind of, depending on how you want to find the beer, you've got different capability. There's also a leaderboard. So the idea is that to monetize it and, you know, get people to play the game is there's going to be a leaderboard. So working with partnership breweries, having like a, you know, a monthly prize where it's maybe say a little giveaway. You got a countdown towards that for each month. Have like maybe it's like last month's winner. So there got random user won a creative beer from Vaux Brewery with 175 points. And then if we go on here, we've got current top standing. So this is, you know, this is the leaderboard effectively. So the leaderboard aspect is trying to gamify it and make it more fun. So as part of when you're adding beers, it's in for one, out for one, but also to try and gamify it and incentivize people to play more, you get points depending on the level of interaction which you have with the app. And that depends on whether you are just updating whether a beer is already there, or whether you're adding a beer, like putting all the complex data, then you get kind of rewarded for that. So if we go on, for example, let's go neck oil, and then we are going to look at this. I'm logged into the beer shout right now. So spotted by beer shout, that one is me. So we can see there that I can edit it and I can go straight into tap view location. That's because it's one of my beers that I've added. Kia Shout, which is my wife, she's added that one. So we'll click into there and we can see this one actually says tap to unlock. So this one, this is the whole unlock feature. So you can say, she give it a rating of that. You can also get comments on there as well. I'm going to hit tap to unlock and it's going to say, are you sure you would like to use your shout to unlock this location? You'll need to upload your own sighting before you can unlock any more beers. No, obviously just closes that, but we're going to hit yes. So we're going to use our unlock. So now we can see exactly where that is. So I can go and get the directions of where that is. And then, you know, go and enjoy the beer. Once I've enjoyed that, whilst enjoying the pint, I would then, you know, is the beer still here? We would hit yes. In this instance, I'm just going to take a photo from my library, pretend that's my pint, upload that. I might provide a price. So my wife, Killian, I think she put that it was £3.40. In this instance, I'm going to say, oh, well, actually, now they've got a sale on, it's £3.20. I'll create my sighting. I want to, do you want to provide rating for an extra 2 points? Yeah, why not? We'll hit yes. So I'm going to put, yeah, that was a nice one. Lovely, jubbly. We'll hit submit rating and price. So now, if we go into neck oil, we can see that spotted by beer shout is being added there. And I've also updated her price because it was at the same pub or bar. So because you're not going to get two different prices at the same bar. So now we've got that on there. Again, if you go into the feed, you can also see, you know, 0.5 miles away from my relative location. A few seconds ago by beer shout, and then that's just done in, you know, relevancy type of thing. If we were to, for example, to go on a beer, and let's say there's Boddington's here, since I've already unlocked, since I paid back in the system by confirming the beer was still where my wife said it was, I can now unlock another one. If on the other hand, I go tap to unlock, and I'm going to unlock this, yes, but then I maybe it's just, I don't, you know, let's say, no, it's not there anymore, or even I just actually click home and I don't do anything. If I now want to go and unlock a new beer, let's say I want to find this Erdinger, it's saying add a beer first to unlock, so I can't actually do anything. It enforces people to play the game. So, but then it's very easily done. So to add a beer, I'll just click that or hit plus. You choose first identify the brand. So, you know, you could pick one here. I'm going to put Magic Rock, but it's not there. So you would just click OK, add the brand. So I'm just going to call it Magic Rock Brewery. I've got these handy, so there's the logo. I'm just going to choose that, add the brand. Next step down is, okay, identify the brand. I've got that, so I'll select that. Don't have any beers for that brand yet, of course, so that's fine. So I'm going to put Sorcery. And then this one, I planned this earlier, so 3.9. You then choose when you're adding a beer what the family is, and then that will then present you the characteristics or styles depending on what that is. So what I'm drinking right now is an ale. So I'm going to hit next. And then this pulls down a curated list here. So you can see these are all the different ales or like subcategories that I've got on here. Now what I'm drinking is it's a Session India Pale Ale, which we've got there, which is great. If we didn't have that, you would just go in here and you can actually add the style description and an abbreviation if needs be, which adds to the search terms of how you can find it. I'm just going to hit Session India Pale Ale. So there, it's there. I've now added this beer. Where did you find it? So in this instance, it's showing the nearby venue. So venues have already been added by me in relation to what's closest to me. Now I'm just going to hit the Wolsey, which is like a nearby pub. Evidence. I can, rather than adding a photo, I can actually take a photo. So we'll just do that. Use the photo. Just whilst that uploads. And I'm going to say, let's say that was 440. I'm going to create the sighting. Yes, I'll add a rating. This time I'm just going to say, yeah, it was in a can, so it wasn't that good. I'm not going to leave a comment this time. Submit the rating. So now there's Magic Rock Brewery. We can see that it's been added. There, it's there. A few seconds ago, it's also on the feed. If we look at the leaderboard, scroll down, we can see Beer Shout, which was me, was previously on 141 points. I'm now on 151 points. So I'm gaining points depending on the level of interaction I've got. If we were to add a quick beer, which was Camden. So it's Camden, but it's not Peel, it's Hells. I'm going to click add beer. That one is Hells. 4.6. It's actually a lager. Next. And then there we go. German style. Let's just say it's the German style Pilsner for now. Select Hells. Well, let's say the pub isn't on there. So I would just like type out, it's not on there. Add a venue. This is where it uses the Google Maps API. So I'll just search 6. Sunderland.
Ben, just to say, I do not want to stop you in your tracks, but you're getting a lot of love in the chat, and people want to see this in their own city. We may need to wrap up.
No problem. I'll
just to move on to Raffin. Is there any kind of final remarks, words? Because this is awesome.
Yeah, there you go. So just so you get that idea, and then obviously by adding a new pub, you then get even more points, so that I've got another 10 points. So anyway, that's it. That'd be a shout in like a nutshell. The what's next kind of thing, I would just say like the bootcamp was really, really brilliant, incredibly supportive like cohort. The creators and residents were absolutely brilliant. Big shout out to Harold especially, because he kept me sane on my many breakdowns that I had when trying to work through and do it. I've no doubt that I wouldn't be at the stage where I am right now had it not been for the bootcamp. My background's in design, so I have dabbled with it, but I just think it really, really helps with that kind of accountability and be able to like bounce ideas off people. And then, I think biggest learning is just that being flexible and adaptable. I think, I ran into lots of obstacles, but with how malleable no-code is, you can quickly find other solutions with other tools. So really, really good.
Thanks, Ben. Soak up those comments, just soak them up, read them through as Raffin will be coming up next. So just a FYI, guys, it looks like we'll probably just run a couple minutes over. So please just stick with us as we wrap this up. But before we do, Raffin is going to send us out on a bang. So I'm going to hand it over to you very quickly before we wrap up. So over to you, Raffin.
Thanks, Max. I hope you can hear me and my screen is visible.
Can hear you perfectly, and I can see your login screen as well.
Okay, it should be the deck now.
Yes, got it.
Perfect. So I'll just quickly go through a couple of slides, give you context. Who am I? Started off as a strategy consultant, moved into business roles, then worked in product, and now no-code builder. Some of the firms I've worked with across continents, but we'll skip on that. I wanted to just bring up a little bit context. This is from a recent presentation that was presented at the No-Code conference. The spend on enterprise software is many, many times more than what it is on consumer apps. So what you see in the App Store is the tip of the iceberg. Enterprise software is where a lot of money is spent. And most of this is spent on custom software, which takes infinitely long amount of time to build. The starting price is immense. That creates a very, very clear opportunity for no-code to come in. In a similar vein, I wanted to introduce my target audience. I want you to meet Roy. Roy is a professional investment advisor who helps his clients manage their money. He's successfully managed to attract many of his friends and colleagues who trust him with their financial future. However, with the current market volatility, prices going up, stock prices going down every day, clients want to know the value of their investments daily. This is a problem because as a small business, Roy had to devote most of his time reporting on the existing customer portfolio, and that hurts Roy's business growth. So if you spend time just reporting what people have till date, you never get to the point where you can sell to more people. Then Roy discovered Moneypenny. Moneypenny is the solution that I will be presenting, where each of Roy's clients has a personalized app which reflects their portfolio performance updated as of today. He's able to also monitor each of his clients' portfolios and manage his business more effectively. So to power an enterprise, a small enterprise without the budget to actually build a $50,000 custom solution is the goal that I am intending to conquer through no-code. Enter Project Moneypenny. So Project Moneypenny is a tool which takes the financial transaction data and then molds it into an interface which is usable by both customers to track their own portfolios and for investment advisors to track their customers' portfolios and their business on aggregate. I will jump over to the demo quickly here. So I've built this on a set of tools. The front end is on something called VWeb. The back end is on Xano. This absorbs all of the customer transactions data, which is a raw file. It's unstructured data, converts it into structured data, and then the magic is there on the front end for each of our clients to see. So you will notice here that this is a web app where a registered investment advisor can check how much money they have under management as of today, how much was the principal that was invested with them, how much they've been able to grow that money over time, the absolute return, and the XIRR is something that I'm working on. Over a period of time, how has their portfolio grown in terms of its value as of date, and how much was the growth in the principal invested each month. Once they've seen the overall dashboard, they can go down into investor details. For all of the investor they manage, they can get a high-level summary of what they were invested, how much amount they invested, what is the current value, what's the net gain or loss, and the change in that amount. Subsequently, if they choose to double-click on a specific investor, if they want to have that investor conversation and they want to make a educated decision on whether they need to do something about that specific investor, you can go into the investor dashboard. For that specific investor, you can see how much money they invested, what's the return on their total assets. You can check that by specific assets. So how much did somebody invest in a scheme 1 versus a scheme 2? What was the amount purchased? What's the current amount? You see on the first one, they invested something, but it's only returned a 6% on that amount, while the lower investment is doing good. So we can go into the transactions history. We have to check why this one is not performing. If we go into that depth, you will notice that the transactions, this one just happened very recently. So it's actually something that's yielded 6% in the matter of a week. So the investor can be informed by the advisor that their investments are doing good and they need not worry. This is a high-level summary of how the investor level discussions happen. Additionally, advisors are keen to know how the recent transactions are doing. So for all of their investors, what has been the recent trend? So are people selling more recently? Are people buying more recently? For every transaction, you can get a log, which can be sorted by date, and you can get a sense of where the market's moving for the portfolio that you have under your management. What I would also like to highlight is that this is a white labeled app, which means that if I were to log off, I'll just give a second. If I were to log off and log in with a set of credentials, you will notice a little bit of change right up top where the logo is personalized for the company that is logged in, and each of their investor details is personalized as well. Additionally, if you've spotted a bug, you can contact us. You can tell us about the bug. We are a newish company, and we would love for our clients and users to tell us where we may not be doing so well. So the bug trackers incorporated into the app. You can start, you can tell us, about yourself. You can tell us where you saw the problem. You can describe the problem, and eventually, just the logging will happen, and we will get to the, the customer in due course of time.
Rafin, just to say, we've just hit the hour, so yeah, I think it would be awesome if you could just kind of wrap up soonish, if possible, so we can close out the session. But yeah, I don't want to kind of cut you off too much, but yeah, I just want to give you that.
Definitely. So if you were wondering that this is a web app, if this were to be used in the mobile, VWeb also optimizes this for the mobile use. So the distributor can use the same app in their mobile device, and it will show the same information optimized for a mobile form format. The white label customer app is also similar. It's a subset of the app. The investor home and investor login that we saw is what the investor themselves will see if they were to use this as a app for themselves. So this is the same feature set. It's just limited for the investor to see only their portfolio. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Thanks so much, Rafin. Really appreciate that. And if there's a little bit at the end of that demo that we didn't get to see, we can record. Well, we've actually already got your Loom, but we can record something else, and we can share that with the folks in the newsletter at the end of this week. So thanks so much, Rafin. As Ben rightly points out, your demo has come on leaps and bounds in the space of about 2 weeks. So you've been clearly very busy at home, but incredible job. Okay, all right. So just wary of time. I know everyone has been very patient here. So just want to cap us off with a couple of slides from me. Don't worry, they're not long, but just to cap off this demo day. So firstly, thank you so much, all the demoers. It has been almost, yeah, just an incredible kind of buffet of no-code excellence, if that's one way of putting it, and showing you kind of the diversity of things that you can create. If that's internal tools, external tools, web apps, chatbots, mobile apps, you name it, you can probably build it with no-code. So hopefully this has given you a bit of inspiration to actually start building your own no-code apps. So in terms of next steps, our next demo day that you can mark your calendars for is the 18th of Jan. So it'd be epic to see you guys there. And that's another date for you to target and build something for. And then as a next step,